Hello and welcome back to Church's Chipper Chats with our special guest this week, Chris Smith, hot off a provisional win, which happened about 2 months ago, and a top 8 finish at the regional in Gen Con, which I gotta say is mighty respectable. Chris, how are you feeling right now?
Jesus, Church. You know what show this is. Welcome back to Take 10, everybody. I'm your host, Chris Smith of Universes Academy. We find out the hot takes from our people in the community, Jasco employees, provisional winners, commentators like Andrew last time. And just this week is a real special week for me because me and Church, Clint Badger, to some of you, we've known each other for quite a long time, and he is now on the other side of the
Yeah, I'm an inside man. I know nothing.
He knows nothing.
No.
So basically what we're going to do, Church, we're going to run you down. I got a bunch of questions. We're going to talk about your history in the game, how you look at the game now, how's the game looking to you, and then future. So first question. First, I have to say, some of your accolades do follow you. You are a U.S. Nats champion.
Teams, not singles.
Teams,
but that's still fine. Yeah, we got this card. It's got my name on it. You normally don't get your name on a card if you're a team's winner, but
yeah,
we're in for a pun, and I'm fine with the pun if it had my name in it. That's fine with me.
So up to that, how'd you start playing UVS, and what did you like about it that made you play it for so long? And then how did that lead into your path to being a Jasco team member on design?
Well, I started playing this game back in 2007. I only found out that date the other day. Someone posted a memory of the event where I learned it at, which is really cool.
Okay.
I was at a little anime convention that was in the basement of a hotel, so it definitely wasn't the biggest thing. Yeah. And there I met this dude who is still to this day one of my best friends. I thought he was in full cosplay. Turns out he just dresses like that. And he just approached me when I was waiting for my friends to come to the con. And he said, "Hey, you want to play this weird card game?" I don't remember how he described it, but
yeah.
It had Soul Calibur characters, Street Fighter characters. These are characters I really like. King of Fighters is a big one for me. I'm a huge Terry Bogard stan, so I was all over that the moment I got in.
Oh, yeah.
So he absolutely annihilated me in my first game. He did not go easy on me. He killed me utilizing a rubber ducky from the Penny Arcade first set. All these weird cards. I didn't understand what was happening. He killed me on like the third turn using abilities I did not understand. Yeah. I don't know if he was the best teacher, but I was immediately hooked. I don't know how or why. Like, looking back on this, I don't know why. Yeah, but I then immediately walked down the street. There was a card shop a few blocks away, and I went and I picked up a tacky starter from Soul Calibur. Yeah. And I was pretty much in immediately. I started going to that store for weeklies pretty soon after. I was god-awful to start. Terrible. For about 2 months, I tried blocking with the speed value of a card. Like, Foundations, I guess they just didn't have blocks in my mind. I would just be like, it's a 5-speed mid. My opponent's got a 2-speed mid. I need a 7. Like, that. I mean, it makes sense for Hadokens. They were always mid in 2007. I did not try to get competitive until, I'm going to say, 2012. I went to my first big event. Yeah, it was a long gap. I tried a couple times to leave, because I'm up in Winnipeg, Canada, right in the middle. There's nothing around here. There was an event called Path of the Master that was in, I want to say, Michigan? Minneapolis? Minneapolis is probably right. It was at the Fantasy Flight headquarters. It was a pretty big one.
That would be Minnesota, yeah.
Minnesota, thank you. Yeah. I tried going to that, but I lost my passport on the day we were supposed to drive out. That was a sad day of crying to myself at home alone. That was like 2009. I didn't even try to leave the city for a competition until 2012. Yeah. The first Canadian Nationals that I went to out of 2.
Oh, cool.
In 2012, I took a 44-hour bus ride on Greyhound with my 2 roommates, so, we wouldn't get murdered or robbed.
Yeah. Plus, you have a team.
We have a team. Yeah, we went there as a team, which was a really huge thing. We didn't think of a team name on the whole drive over for some reason. We just made it up on the spot, like idiots.
There's really good ones, though. Some of the best ones are made up on the spot, though.
Yeah.
If you think about it.
And when it's your first time trying competitive, you've never left your home meta, you don't know what the world's going to be like. So of course, being a kid at that time, I expected to do well because, I beat up all my locals. Obviously, I should do good at nationals.
Oh,
but I didn't, unshockingly. Yeah. I did 12th in singles, which is actually really respectable.
That's pretty respectable. Yeah.
I still waited like this during the top 8 announcement, but no.
Oh yeah, sure.
They were like Jeremy Ray, Phil Birch, Garrett Brett, and I'm like, Like real names we're getting.
Yeah,
I got to watch Garrett and Phil fight for like 3 hours in singles. So yeah, that was my first taste of it, and I loved it. I went to Gen Con the next year. I went to Nationals the next year. Those were two different events, like American Nationals in Vegas, Worlds at Gen Con. And at Gen Con, I was very sheepish, and I didn't want to talk to many people, but I kind of knew Sean O'Brien. You know, I'd been ordering from him. I had talked to him a bunch at the Canadian Nationals. He was the team that actually won that, and he had to get through my team to do it. Yeah. I won my battle. My two roommates did not. So, you know, I can hold that over them forever. Two guys I haven't talked to in a decade. So I talked to Sean O'Brien at Gen Con 2013, and I said, do you have any idea how we could set up a Canadian Nationals? I would love to have one in Winnipeg. And Sean introduced me to Jason and said, this is Clint Badger. He wishes to run a Canadian Nationals in bumfuck nowhere. Winnipeg, sorry, it's called Winnipeg. It's right in the middle, above Omaha, right above Fargo, if anyone knows where that crap is. So, like, we got it. There's a lot of miscommunications. I barely understood that I was even I'm not even sure if I was supposed to be TO 10 years later. I think Sean was. It was supposed to be. I was supposed to print Deckless. I didn't know that. They got there eventually. Only 19 people showed up. We still had good travelers. We had people from Calgary. We had people from Michigan. We had people from Rochester, which is really cool. That's actually an event.
Yeah.
But we had to call Jason to make sure it was still a legal event because there wasn't enough people. And he said, no teams cardboard, but singles is okay. So even though we had a teams event planned and we had a good amount of teams, it didn't fire. So actually Tim Keefe won that. Like a real team. Andrew Alexa, Keith Disborough, and Tim Keefe won that. Those are 3 world champions. That is a real team. But they don't get the cardboard from it because it wasn't real.
Is it because there's only 6 teams and there need to be
something like 6 or so? Yeah, the Canadian Nationals before that only had 8, and they just immediately cut to top 8 and just did elimination.
Gotcha. So that's probably what it was. They didn't have elimination rounds. But
yeah, they didn't want to do it again.
Yeah, you could have just gone, well, first, you could have just like said, well, y'all roll die. First and second seed get a bye. The rest of you all got a knife fight it out. You know?
Yeah, that is what they called the Canadian Nationals 2012, where there were only 8 teams. They called it the Canadian Knife Fight. Some people call it the Wild West event, but because it just started right at top 8. It was just, sit down, you are fighting Tim Keefe in top 8. And I'm like, that's cool, I don't know who this guy is. He hasn't won yet. Because Tim Keefe won his first championship a few months after that. So, I don't know who this guy is.
Yeah, now you know. And
he played the same Kazuya deck that he won Nationals with. He played it at the Canadian Nationals and whooped my ass in singles.
Yeah. You know what's funny is that... What's funny is that Kazuya deck, for some random reason, him and Garrett fighting it out in Nationals keeps popping up on my YouTube feed like every day.
Wow.
I'm like, it's like, why do I want to watch a match for cards that I, haven't?
2013.
Yeah, it's like 10 years old, and I don't even know what half the cards do. So
wow.
But okay, so you get your
2013 Canadian Nationals. Yep. It went okay. I'm an anxiety-ridden mess, so I thought Jason hated me after that. Kevin Broberg won it. After top 8, we ran out of time in the card store we had, and we moved to a nearby diner. So all of top 8 was played in a diner.
That is a tradition, though, in the old game. In UFS, that was the tradition. The top cuts would always get moved. Yep.
Yeah, they would always run out of time. Well, because in the old days of UFS, Garrett Brett was always in the top cuts for Swiss. So everyone would always know, we can't have this here. It's going to go to 3 a.m. We got to leave. Doesn't matter if the shop doesn't close for another few hours. He's still going to be here. We got to go. So I think finals closed out at like 1 a.m. Kevin Broberg versus Garrett Brett was the finals. You're going to hear that name come up a lot, Garrett Brett. He was second place in all 3 of these events we're mentioning. Losing to Phil Birch, Tim Keefe, and Kevin Broberg in the finals each of these events. I lost to Garrett in top 4, which actually felt really good. I got to top 4, and then I lost due to... It's a thing sometimes people happen where they forget what a card does or misread it, and then your opponent goes like, oh, this actually works like this. Tap, and then you lose. Oops. May have happened to Chris this last weekend, It happens a lot.
I'm dying here.
You gotta not do that.
Who?
As you can tell, I've got a storied history with a lot of competitive events that kind of like... And so after 2013, I realized I didn't want to team with my locals as much because they don't want to like be competitive or head out for adventures and stuff. So I put out like a wanted ad on the Jasco forums. I want to join a team. I'm a cool ass maverick, my own man.
Question: what's a forum?
A forum is a space that the old Romans used to use to discuss topics and news with each other. And at one point, Jasco had a short little page for that. It was used by a couple dozen people. But one of those couple dozen people called out to me, Brian Harris, now also a national champion, just saying. Clearly I bring these things out. And Brian carried the hell out of me in Worlds 2014. We got to a top 4 finish in teams, felt amazing. And that is what really invigorated the competitive spirit. Like the Canadian ones were something like I did good in a small pond, but I went to actual Worlds and I got actual top 4. That made something real in me. And then I started trying to learn to be better at that point.
I think that is something, well, just a segue real quick. I think that's something that a lot of newer players who have just started the game, they enjoy the game locally. But when they go to a big event, they get that itch. And that's kind of like what you had, you got like that.
It's a different environment. It is a different world. And my heart was not prepared for that. So at that point, that was kind of my life. I was working at Target, and basically my paychecks would just go to traveling to UFS events or buying more UFS, and that was it. Honestly, bills, food, let's fly. Every 3 months, if I can afford to go to PTC, I will go. If I could afford to go to nationals, there was no afford. I go to nationals.
Yeah, you go to
every US nationals, every Worlds I was at from 2013 until 2020, the last Worlds.
So fast forward a bit, 2017, you guys take down the US Nationals.
2017 US Nationals. I teamed with Rodney, Marco, and myself. We did okay. Oh no, I didn't team with Marco 2017. Team with Rodney. We fought Marco in round 1, and I beat him. 2016 Nationals, though, I teamed with Rodney Garland and Alex Marco. Sometimes I forget Marco's his last name. I was trying to think like Marco what. And we were called Caught Red-Handed, opponent caught red-handed. It was funny, trust me. And we got all the way through Swiss and won it. It was surreal, man. We started off with 1 tie and 1 loss. We were 0-1-1 at the beginning. We just won our way right up.
I remember hearing the video in the background when they showed that, and you hear Rodney yell, "I'm immortal!
Yep.
I'm immortal!" It's like
I think he jumped into either Dave Wagner or Thomas Gordon's arms.
That's pretty crazy. It's that's something that I don't know if a lot of games. I know there's a lot of games that you could win a lot of money in, or you get like a lot of prestige, but you guys are immortalized in a game. Granted, it's evolved.
Me. It's
evolved into universes, and it's a totally different. It's a same engine, different game. Different flavor of game, but so. We go ahead and Bebop, all that stuff comes out. You
game
still
definitely changed in that era.
Game definitely changed. You still were a mainstay at PTCs, Nationals, and Worlds.
I was still doing good for topping. Sometimes I would miss top cuts by like 1 damage, and that's all right. That 1 damage is on me. I forget to activate literally my own card with my face on it. I forget to activate that, and I miss out lethal by 1 damage on, and then I miss getting into top cuts. How do you think that feels? It's got my face on it.
Yeah, I know about those. You see, I think you remember your bad beats more than your big wins.
You always,
sometimes.
But that's the thing. You learn from that.
Yeah.
I was competitive for 8-9 years. Yes, I won at like year 4 or 5 and being competitive, but you learn every time.
Yeah.
Even in 2020, I learned new things about myself, new things about some cards, which were then immediately banned, so it didn't matter that I learned about them.
Yeah, very true. So from there, you were a mainstay in the community, always on the Facebooks and on all the social media stuff.
I've been on them Facebooks and such.
Where did that kind of just? What was the path to design like from there? So take us from like 2020 to design, if you can. I don't know much you can talk about, but yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, there was a part where the My Hero set 1 was in open playtest. Like anyone was allowed to just come in, look at the cards, play with the cards. Tell Jasco how you feel. It was a new thing they were trying. So what they did with it was everything had fake names. like instead of All Might, you would get the Big Mac, I believe it was called. They all had silly food themed names, and
Yeah.
like one of his attacks was just called Cheese or Secret Sauce, and stuff. And all of them were silly. But sometimes you could look at it and just go, "Well, that's clearly Nomu.
Yeah.
He does big damage and reduces damage. That's got to be Nomu." And most of them were figured out pretty quickly. But that's kind of the fun of it. And honestly, that means they did a good job, right? If you can look at a ham sandwich and say that ham sandwich is Hantasero. Actually, it was a trifle cake, but you get the point.
Yeah. See, I'm trying to figure out who the ham sandwich is because Tim Keefe said Jacob Johnson can win a regional with a ham sandwich. So we're trying to figure out if there was a ham sandwich in public playtesting so we can give it to JJ and see if we can win a regional with it. So
that's quite the pun.
Yes, it would be.
So I was one of the most vocal people in like one of the people actually putting in the most advice and such. I guess I was helping quite a bit. And then later on, Jacob Masur of not my hat, your hat. Final Round Games, he held a playtest tournament, which I took down myself as Eraserhead. And I was able to I was interviewed after that and gave good advice. And eventually, Jason and Tim contacted me, like still during the design of that set, and they asked me a few things. Like they said, they're contacting other players, and I was one of the ones that gave him the most support. So they're asking, like, what should we do here? What should we do there? And I said, this character whose name isn't Kirishima, but I know he's clearly Kirishima. His 3 difficulty, 6-check foundation, that thing is busted. Don't make that a 6-check. I remember that day clearly. I remember that conversation. So I didn't do anything on set 1, obviously. Yeah. Like I did the play testing, but that was a public thing. That's not really. And then eventually, there came a time where the design team was able to expand during the work on set 2, like a year ago. I think I joined, I want to say September of 2021, so almost at a year for me now.
Cool. Congratulations.
It's pretty great. I joined on during the set 2 design, and I was very much a junior designer there. We started to get a whole team. There were 4 or 5 of us coming in sporadically, and every one of them had worked on the game before. Some people had like worked on the tins or their own set. Like since Jasco joined, all these people have come and gone, and I was, of course, completely new to it. So none of my designs really got forward. I was still learning. I made like Snipe and Cementos and Monoma.
No.
Those are like my 3. I spent so much time on Monoma because I love that little shithead. Yeah, and I love the way his character worked. I'm fine with the fact that Monoma is not competitive. I mean, he's kind of competitive, but he's not the kind of character you bring to a tournament in front. But you can absolutely have him in your side, and I think that's a really cool design. So that's kind of the way he was shaped. But he's also still a character that I have built forever in my own deck box. And like I went to a locals in Vegas when I was down there a couple months ago, and I played Monoma. And I happened to play against a guy who was running a deck on the same symbol with the same almost attack lineup. So that was great. I didn't have to do anything like that. I just gave everything taunt, and it was great.
That's awesome.
So even if I just get to play once in a while, I'm happy to just crack out something like that.
Sure.
And eventually Jason and Tim contacted me and asked me, we know that this means you will never be able to competitively play while you're an employee, but would you like to join? And I had a signing bonus that I requested from Jason. I said, can I have blinds? Because I just moved into my house, and I don't have blinds yet. You can kind of see in the corner, there are the blinds. You got you got me 6 blinds, not even 1. I got one in the office, bedroom. It's
nice. That's when you know, like, they really want you. They're giving you housing accessories. It's like, here. Take it, home ownership sucks sometimes, and
there's a lot of things you don't expect to buy.
Yeah, exactly. So you're on design. So it leads me to my next question. I know you can, in casual conversation, you talk about how you like seeing stuff built from the ground up, and you like seeing how things fit together, and like we've talked about like in personal conversations. But what's your favorite thing about being on the design team? Like, what's your favorite aspect of the job?
Well, the thing that I guess I didn't fully answer your first question.
Go ahead.
What taught me in the game, like what kept me, and it was being able to express myself through my decks, being able to make unique decks that no one in my locals has, and just do something different every single week. So I'm kind of happy to say bring that to design. Because now that we've got a team, everyone on the team I feel is a different type of player. Like, you got the Johnny, Timmy, Spike. They added two more later. I'm not as familiar with them. I mainly know the Johnny, Timmy, Spike. And we'll use the words Johnny, Timmy, Spike in design. This is clearly a Timmy card. This card's got huge Johnny, and I am a Johnny through and through. A Johnny is the kind of guy who wants to make their own deck, play it, and experience it their way and win their way. A Spike is the kind of person who would just pick Asui because she's the current top character, or Kirishima 2, or whatever it is right now, and just win with that. Just go at it. You grind it out in locals, and that's never been me. Like, when I knew when I wanted to win a deck, I wanted it to be kind of my own deck that I put time into, a deck that I made myself. And I'm happy that when I did win with Kim, that people were still messaging me months later going like, whoa, why did you run XYZ cards in there? Or, I see you did this. That worked. And that feels great, because even though he was kind of a popular character that had shown up a few times, my deck is still unique. And there are some funny coincidences in there where I kind of stole the deck from Dan Hughes at first, as he was running it in other places, because I also love the character. I figured that'd be a good starting spot. And after my first event that I played with it, where I won a PTC, Dan messaged me up and he asked me, why did you run, I'm having trouble remembering the names of the cards. Do you remember the Skullman, the one difficulty that flips to discard one, draw one?
You mean Design for Combat?
Design for Combat. So, Dan messaged me and he asked me, why did you run Improved Design in your deck? I think that is an amazing card, but I never thought of that in here. And his list had Design for Combat, and I put in Improved Design. That is a different card.
Yeah, it is. Yeah,
but it worked well.
That's awesome.
Sometimes a little bit of dyslexia helps out of the deck.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Customization. And so I like being able to do that in design to help things be more unique. If there's sometimes, honestly, people have been messaging me lately and just saying, yeah, this guy's you, right? When a new character is previewed, and they do something stupid, and someone says, that's a church character.
Yeah.
Unfortunately not yet. I was still pretty a junior design in set 3. I only designed one character total in all of Series 3, so it's not like I'm not really... I mainly worked on like back page stuff and other stuff, but that's still good. I learned my stuff. Expect to see more weird stuff from me in the future.
Okay.
Like fundamentals, when I started, because these were all done.
Yeah.
I was learning.
Now, like in design, do you have to go through like a schooling almost? Like, this is how we start off on a character, and then we branch out in different directions. Do they walk you through like steps, or is it something that you already kind of knew?
I kind of learned it myself. So this is a weird one to say, but I kind of like made my own card game for a little while, and I went to Staples and I printed out 2,700 cards, and I have them in and I've been playtesting it for years. So that really helped me learn how to gauge things. So I was good at that already. That probably helped a ton. Not even kidding about 2,700 cards. I went too far.
So you're saying that if we ask you, you will bring your own card game to an event if you show up, and we can play your card game?
Yeah. So it was based on the D&D Shadowrun Cyberpunk games that my friends and I have been playing. And like instead of factions, it's all the different like teams from different, like the Cyberpunk team plays differently than the D&D teams.
That's awesome. That's cool.
It was very fun to make.
That's something that at least gave you some like inspiration on how.
Oh yeah, it helped me grow as a developer without even realizing I was getting better at these skills.
Yeah,
and it's the kind of thing that anyone who's in the creative industry or a designer of like a show or a movie or anything, like you go back and you look at your first stuff and you already think, oh, that's horrible. I wish I could redo that instantly. Like there's stuff in set 1 of My Hero that I would like to go back and change, and like I didn't even do that. I guess that's kind of weird. Why is that a 0 diff +1 block? But that's fine. That's the kind of thing that exists, and now we can design with that in mind going forward. And as more sets are added, those aren't going to be the most prominent cards. Things are going to not replace it. There's no sense in banning something that innocuous. It's just things are going to naturally push it out of decks, and if people want to run it, you are absolutely allowed to run it. But I'm going to have more interesting decisions for you to make in deck building, and that's what's exciting. Because you look at Tight-Lipped. Tight-Lipped is a 0 difficulty with a 1 mid block. Beautiful. Kind of does a little standard +1 damage. But maybe we start getting some weirder cards in there, more niche cards. Your Tight-Lipped might start coming down from a 4x to a 2 of, as you get a couple other 1x 0 diffs. I'm kind of using card game lingo, I say like run X zero diff, but hopefully
Yeah.
you know what that means, listener.
Most people should know that if they're
I would
watching the
really
show.
hope
I'd
so.
hope
Yes,
so. Yeah.
yes.
So you're
Oh,
kind of talk I just to kind of piggyback on that. Like look at was it floating around my babies? That kind of
yeah,
does the same thing, but it does discard
and it's
pile
very different.
manipulation,
Yeah, yeah.
and it's a different type of mechanic that works with another set of cards, but it does the exact same thing on one of the symbols that they both share. So you could say on a life deck you may play
Good. Yeah.
both and then quick create. You can work your way down to something in your discard pile, quick create it in, and that you can
Yeah.
go from there. So yeah.
It has clever uses that
Hmm.
people haven't really investigated as much. I actually respect it a bit more than some as just a zero diff
Hmm.
spam.
Yeah.
For example, I ran it in like Endeavor on all. It's a little weird, but it gives him damage after he cycles. Basically, is kind of weird
Yeah.
to say because Endeavor wants a huge discard pile, obviously for his damage. But then once you cycle, you're out. So it gives you something to do afterwards.
Hmm.
Basically,
Hmm.
a lot of cards have a lot of places where they could be put that people don't think.
Yeah.
Maybe you
Okay.
get out of the competitive mindset for a moment. You might find some cool things that you could win competitive.
So speaking of the you and Andrew are perfect seguers. So leading to my next question, um, the current health of the game. Are you happy with it? Are you not happy with it? I mean, if you can't say you're not happy with it, that's fine. You can lie. And then, do you
Yeah, if this
are you
video just
happy?
suddenly cuts and we go to the next question.
are you are you happy with the way the players are treating the meta? Like, is this what you expected the play? Because I know like designers design, but players will play is a
Yeah,
saying. So, are you
it
kind
is
of
a different
is it what
world, honestly.
is it was what you expected the set two meta to be?
Hmm, kind of expected a bit more of some characters. I'm really surprised there aren't some like Midoriya 2 is honestly a powerhouse, but I guess
Yeah.
he's sort of like a local speeder. It's
Yeah.
fun. Like Bakugo 2, that boy can devastate people. I am
Yeah.
surprised he hasn't been showing up as much, but that's fine. It's not like these characters cycle immediately.
Mhm.
And
Mhm.
Bakugo is a popular character. You don't think eventually we're going to print another card for Bakugo? Like, come on.
Yeah, I know, right?
So
I
maybe
know.
in like 3 sets, and that's fine because this
Yeah.
gets people to come back for product. If in a few
Yeah.
sets someone comes into their game and their favorite character is Bakugo, there could be multiple different Bakugos, and each one of them could be viable in their own way that you can point this
Yeah.
new player to and say, you could look back at Crimson Rampage for some Bakugo attacks that will do good for your new Bakugo or your Bakugo one you're looking at. And I think that's really cool
Yeah.
how we can do that. As for the meta, I'm actually really fine with it. I really
Cool.
like it. This is
Mhm.
basically the healthiest that this game has been in 16 years. There is nothing just breaking the game. Yes, there are some
Yeah.
more efficient characters than
Yeah.
others, but that doesn't mean they can't be taken down.
Yeah.
Just this last weekend, an event was won by Froppy, and people are calling for her ban. I saw a post today saying this is the 10th event in a row she has won. This is actually the first event she has won since Set 2 came out, so that's saying something. People are. Chris himself has won an event since then, and he was not Froppy.
I'm not Froppy. No. I beat a Froppy, but no. Yeah,
um, what are your feelings, for example, on ultra compressed weights? That is a card that does a really good job of fighting
Yeah,
her. I'm just
it does.
wondering. It doesn't
I
slot into
think
a lot of decks due to its 3 difficulty 4 check.
I think it's a good card against the water Froppy. The
Ah,
slower versions of her because you kind of against the let's just call it the Gasui, the 50 card Master Asia list.
and that's
Um, that, that's
life, correct?
that's life. Yes, that thing is so fast. You need to be able to survive turn two. You cannot play that asset on turn two or
No,
you die.
I very much understand that. Yes,
Yeah,
yes.
but otherwise, if you can make it to turn three and stabilize, then it's going to show its work. But against the water frog, I don't think anyone's even tried an air frog, which is really weird because I still
It's
think
not
air
a
frog.
while.
Yeah, I think air frog still has some legs, which is not a pun I meant. I'm sorry. Um, but I think it's good against the slower life decks that try to like attrition you out, or in the slower water builds because you're able to set up more. It's more of a
That's a very good
Mhm.
observation. Yeah.
Yeah, because
It wasn't. I'm not
yeah, go
mentioning
ahead.
it because it was like designed to hate
No,
on
yeah,
her. It's
yeah,
just a
yeah,
card that
yeah, yeah.
does work against her.
Mhm, mhm.
And it's got infinity, so you can kind of just slot it in
Yeah,
wherever.
yeah. It's just really good against card pool clearing in general. So
Yeah,
yeah,
yeah. Would have been good against Kirishima 1, I guess, with the coordinated effort thing, but that's no longer a thing. So
that's no longer a problem. No.
Yeah. I have a
Yeah.
Kirishima 1 deck built that I fought
Yeah.
one of the owners of the company with, and I milled him out, and I had a wonderful time. And he had a wonderful time, which is the weirdest part.
The weirdest part? Yeah, that's cool. That's awesome. Okay, so since you're happy with meta, that's great, and you players are just gonna play the game how they want to play it, even though you can be like here's some really cool cards, and they're gonna be like, nah, no.
Yeah,
But
if Set 2 were
you
to have
know,
come out with, say, a Froppy 3 and
yeah,
a Momo 2, I guess it did,
it did.
and some
Yeah,
of these other top characters, it's not like players are immediately going to stop playing Froppy 1 to like pick up
yeah.
this new toy. If there is a best perceived,
Mm-hmm.
they will immediately go for it.
Yeah.
I understand she's a 7-hander that clears a card pool. There's no reason that's not going to be very efficient.
Yeah. Yep.
One thing that's always going to limit her is the fact that she can only clear kicks and range. So at least that helps down the road.
Yeah.
If we see something, say, in playtesting, and hey, this is nuts, you can just kill that range keyword, and it's immediately not a problem anymore. And of course, as the card pool expands, naturally, there's just going to be cards that will curb characters. There's going to be more interaction. Set 1 did not have much interaction because that's the point. It was more of a learner introductory set. So as more things come out, there's going to be new mechanics added. There will be new ways to interact with people. Maybe there will be like Set 9 down the road. We're too sick of Froppy. We add in 12 different cards that all say response. After a card leaves your rival's card pool, they lose 7 health. I don't know. That's just an aggressive way of kicking someone out of the meta.
Yeah, it's definitely aggressive. It's definitely aggressive.
But
so,
I think that the meta maybe has ways of naturalizing itself out as the game goes on.
And I think I know, like, I was also part of this, the whole Kirishima bandwagon.
Yeah.
It needs to be changed, but
is it a bandwagon or a bandwagon?
It was a bandwagon. Yeah. So like, maybe he might have normalized out with coordinated effort gone. So is there? I know, like, they made on the post no characters ever really banned. So
I wrote that.
You are the company. You guys can change your cards if you want to. So it's not like it's that hard to be like, okay, guys, he's just changed back because
he's unerrated back.
It's unerrated back, So
I don't think we would go the full way back. This is my personal opinion.
Yeah,
I do think he was still a bit too much at building both turns, picking up twice per turn. Like, there are multiple different ways we could tweak him down, but at the point where he is now, I'm actually personally really happy with him. Maybe a bunch of people are going to come out of woodwork and tell me that I'm the idiot now and he's D tier because there is still a Kirishima that is doing great in, say, Michigan, which is full of world champions. And one of the guys there, Tanner, is playing Kirishima that I fell in love with so much that I then, as I said, went and fought one of the owners and helped him out with it.
Cool. That's awesome.
Great time. Like, it's not a slow sitting there deck. It at least runs a bunch of attacks. It's just really horrible to fight and soul-wrenching. And I love that.
That sounds like a Tanner deck. It sounds like a you and Tanner deck, definitely. It really does. So, Church, it really does. We're in set 2 meta.
We are.
Favorite character? I think I already know the answer, and I think you've already said it multiple times, but why is it your favorite character, and what are some of the craziest things you have done with your character?
Okay, let me alt-tab to UVS Ultra, get you a better response.
All right, here we go.
I don't know if that's my current favorite character. Oh, there's so many.
I may be wrong.
Maybe. I mean, I love them.
Yeah.
Okay, I think that my favorite... there's not going to be any weird stuff.
Yeah.
I think my favorite character to play as right now, honestly, is Zero2.
No way, seriously? Interesting.
Isn't that weird? I don't think he's, like, even C tier. I think Zero2 is honestly really good.
Mm-hmm.
So many people are going to message me after this. Like, you're all wrong.
Make me a case on why Zero2 isn't in everybody's C tier. Yeah, I think that's where he's at normally in C tier.
Yeah, I didn't say he was good. I mean,
I know. I mean, like, why do you like? No. You obviously don't care he's in C tier because most players don't care where their characters are at.
Yeah, I love free consistent card draw, and the fact that he has it on every attack. I'm all about. He turns other abilities into card draw. Like, if you're running sticky balls, that's E-flip plus 3 speed and draw a card instead of clogging their pool, which is normally only 1 speed, and that's just really efficient. Or it also turns, if your opponent cares to block your 8 damage attack, that then
Mhm.
turns into draw a card and 3 speed. It's
Okay.
the kind of thing that I really like. It's cards flexing different ways. Like as I was saying about
Okay.
sticky balls, that is
Yeah.
probably a defensive card. You can flex that offensively into an offensive draw and speed.
I've never really thought of that with him. That's kind of cool. I like that. I like
Yeah,
that a lot. That's kind of neat.
so he kind of takes the water card pool clog and takes it in and tilts it. He
Mhm.
kind of just runs with that in his own way. And he's got the other enhance to tap down their things when
Yeah.
everyone make them commit. It's okay. I think it's really good to make him a backswing character, which is what he
Mm.
is. He's
Mhm.
already got gotcha from set 1, so he's going to commit that for -1 speed on the opponent's turn, so it doesn't. You're not losing anything if you're already going to block. I think he's very fun. I don't know if he's like competitively viable or anything. He's the kind of character that I like testing other things against because I think he's efficient and consistent. That's kind of what matters sometimes. You can run Frigid Heatwave in him. My favorite card from set 1. Love me some Frigid Heatwave. You can run that in him and feel very good about it. If someone blocks your 8 damage Heatwave, cool. That just means I get to draw a card on my next attack. And my Heatwave is
Yeah.
probably 8 speed or something.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know
Probably.
he's
Yeah.
not
Most likely. Yeah.
Jasco
Yeah.
regionals, but this
No,
sounds
no, man.
like
I
it.
mean, that does. Yeah, I think that says something about the game, right? Is that not every? I mean, you want every character to be good. I mean, it's just the way it
Yeah,
is. As a
it's
you
not
want,
going to happen, and I,
but
I
not
fully
gonna happen.
understand that. That's
But
okay.
I actually, as a player, as a competitive player, I appreciate that there are cards and characters that aren't always, well, I could win a regional with him. I mean, like he's a really, I think he's one of those characters like you could take to a locals, go 2-1, go, 3-0 in some weeks if you get kind of lucky or if your
Yeah,
matchups are good. And you
kind
have a great time playing him because he interacts with your opponent left and right. He's
of,
like, hey, put something in your card pool for me. If you don't get rid of that, I get 3 speed and draw a card.
yeah.
You want to do something about that card?
It's really
Huh?
fun.
Do you want to use your forcing surrender on that card? Huh? Do you want to? Do you
It
want to
makes
really
it
do
really
that?
good at blocking too. You
Yeah.
have to put a real thought into this. Do I care about
Yeah.
minus speed and blocking?
Yeah.
And I'm just going to give the guy another attack.
Yeah, I know, right? It's going to be
Which
fantastic.
honestly works with
Yeah.
Sero's kind of theme of wrapping someone up so they're in a bad
Mm.
situation. As you're
Mhm.
trying to get out of this, you're only putting yourself more into it. As you try to
Yeah.
produce speed and then block, you're only giving him more speed and another
Speed.
attack, which is really fun.
Yeah. Yeah, that's awesome. I
So
like it that he
I
oh, go ahead.
honestly say we
Yeah.
do aim for flavor first, usually when designing
Sweet.
cards. So
Okay, that's cool.
um,
I like that.
that's why I'm happy that Sero feels really good, especially through gameplay as you play.
Mhm.
The feeling like the character's right is one of the
Yeah.
most important things.
Because that you could look at like Midoriya, for instance, because over set 1 and set 2, he's just like, well, I'm gonna hurt myself to get this massive power boost, and
Yeah,
Bakugo has this in set 1. He has like, well, I'm kind of telegraphing where I'm gonna go, but you don't know if I'm gonna go there or not because I am just a crazy man. And then in set 2, you can kind of see he's more a controlled fighter where he's trying to control your opponent's, you
really
know,
learned.
you know,
Yeah,
he's learning as he's growing, and that's really cool. I like that. And
that's why we gave both Deku and Bakugo to Earth because they were learning
okay.
All Might One from the first set.
Oh,
At Earth,
sweet. Okay.
that's why Bakugo deals with powerful. Midoriya would have dealt with powerful. He was kind of going to do a thing where he can discard a card to you do powerful. Turned out that's very strong.
Yeah, it is. Yeah,
You
yeah,
might know from
yeah.
Robert.
I know. Yes, I know. That's really good from Robert. Yes, yes, yes,
Kind
yes,
of
yes.
abandoned that game plan and Deku shifted, but that's why
Yeah.
Bakugo still has the roots of powerful, and why
Cool.
some people use Detroit Smash in Bakugo, or why some people use
Mm,
Power Through Cyclone in All Might, and it
yeah,
works. I
and it
saw a
works.
person get hit. Well, I heard about a person who got hit by it for 106 at the Vegas Provisional.
Yeah, I've
Fight.
played that deck. I've played that Pippa All Might, and my highest was like 81. I felt really small after I was like, man, that was 117 I could have hit. Took there, I killed my opponent and should be happy about it. But I'm just like, I
I
didn't
missed
hit
my
triple
RP
digits.
damage. Yeah,
I didn't hit triple digits, man. That makes me so sad. I want to hit triple digits
that's
because that's like
beautiful.
it's hilarious. It's really fun. It's like and no disrespect to my opponent or anything. And I was like, I'm playing a really funny deck. You may get blitzed for like 300 damage in one
Yeah,
turn.
I
I'm gonna
may
let you know this. And
actual triple digits.
and they were like, I want to see this happen. And they were playing and they were blocking and they were trying to survive. And I go, Howitzer Cyclone for 87 or something like that. And they're just like, well, I have a low block. you know,
And that is
you
an
know,
absolute delight to hear. Like, this is
yeah,
as
it
we
was
were saying,
hilarious.
the
Yeah,
local
it
stack
was.
and go
Yeah,
to a provisional and started out 4-0, which is
yeah,
nuts. I
yeah. It's
love
nuts. Yeah, yeah,
it.
it's
It's one
nuts.
of the most hypest stacks I've heard of, and I
Hmm.
love hearing that. All Might One is one of the dark horses. Well, not dark horse. That's not the correct word.
Yeah,
Black Sheep.
yeah,
All
sure.
Might One was like
Sure.
the black sheep of set ones. Like him
Hmm.
and one or two others were just way at the bottom in all the tier lists.
Yeah,
So it's nice to
yeah,
see that he has something he can do,
yeah.
and I'm
Yep.
really happy to hear that.
Okay. All right. So we're gonna move on to my favorite segment of the show, which has only been one show deep, the lightning round. So this is where Ryan's supposed to cut in a bunch of lightning and goes.
Ah,
What are you
ah,
doing? I don't know what
shaking
you're
my
doing.
lines.
But anywho,
I
uh,
fucked them
so
up.
so it's gonna be 5 questions. It's gonna be 5 things. I need
Am I
your
on a
first
timer?
word. No, just first things that pop into your head. You ready?
I'll get a timer.
You don't need a timer because it's only 5 things. It's fine. You don't need a timer.
I've
Oh my
started
gosh.
it. It's
Okay,
going.
fine. What's your favorite food?
My favorite food is sandwiches applicable. It's very broad, but I love a good like a toasted sandwich. Doesn't have to be from Subway or Quiznos or any of
Capriati's.
that. Capriati's is I have a text document on my phone that is just me rating Capriati sandwiches, and it's just for me, so I can remember next time I go in there which I've had, which I haven't had, how I
Yeah,
felt about them. I'm
yeah,
just
that's
keeping that
amazing.
document, and
It's a
I love
staple when we go to Vegas. We had to hit
yeah.
Capriati's every
I don't
time.
know if capriotti is to say my favorite sandwich, but like a
Yeah,
good
yeah.
grilled sandwich,
Sandwich? Sure.
good crunch. I love the crunch, but
Yeah, the
I'm
crunch
more
part.
about
Yeah,
the texture.
yeah.
Sometimes I've
I
heard
get it.
that
Okay.
some people are like that.
All right. Second question. Favorite symbol in UVS?
Favorite symbol: water.
Oh, sick. Animal.
Doggos.
Anime.
Anime. Oh, I don't know why that took long. I have a JoJo's poster right there. I'm doing a friggin' JoJo's pose
I
on
know.
my card. I
I know.
doodled JoJo symbols on all of my card. I don't
And
know
you
why that
didn't
took me
put
any
it.
amount of time. JoJo's
And
Bizarre
you were
Adventure, my
thinking
favorite
about it.
anime. There are currently
Okay.
5 parts that have been animated. The first part sucks. The second part's pretty good. The third one is drawn out, but I actually really like what they did with it. There were some stupid fights. It's fine. Fourth one is an absolute delight. It's a slice of life anime where they're hunting a serial killer in a little town. That's adorable. I love it. Fifth part is my absolute favorite. They're the gayest looking people I have ever seen, and they're the manliest people. And I love part 5. I've watched it like 8 times.
So I can skip everything and just go to part 5?
Maybe it's honestly unrelated to the other stuff.
I've never seen it. I've never
Almost
seen this
none of
show
the
ever.
characters. The guy on that poster shows up for about 2 minutes on a phone call. That's it. It's almost completely unrelated.
Awesome.
And my favorite character from that season has the same birthday as me.
Oh,
So,
awesome. That's great. Favorite MHA card that you can talk about?
favorite MHA. I like that last part. You have to add that for me.
I
Favorite
don't want you to
MHA
get in
card
trouble.
is going to be Frigid Heat Wave. I love
Okay.
drawing cards, and that draws you 2
Mhm.
cards. That's more
Yes,
than
it
one.
does. Don't you have like a million XRs of that one?
I have 5
Yeah,
first
you have a
edition
million. It's a
XRs.
million. Yeah, it's a million. Yeah.
I kind
Yeah.
of pulled one the day that I got the last one. It was really sad. I didn't even think I was going to get that box. I thought I was done buying the set. That's why I was
Mhm.
just going for singles. And then
Yeah.
I accidentally got a new box, and there it was. My fifth.
You
Shameful.
just don't accidentally get a new box. It's like would
I
you
was told that for the event I had participated in, that
Mhm.
winning it gives you a starter deck box. The starter deck boxes were not
Oh.
available, so they said, "I'm sorry, here's a box instead." So
Mm,
I genuinely
get
did
it.
not expect to get. It
Ah,
wasn't like I
okay.
went in and like, "Oh, okay, I'll buy it."
Yeah.
The price from an event that I won changed unexpectedly. It went up.
Ah,
That's
fair
a much
enough.
better
Yeah, it's a
price.
better price. Yes, better
Yes.
price. So
Is the lightning round
with
over? I'm 3
yeah,
minutes in.
lightning round is over. Lightning round is
Okay.
over.
Oh,
Okay, so
I've got an message on my phone that I have an interview with Chris Smith. I
oh, that
missed.
sucks. I
Yeah,
missed it. Okay.
my bad.
So we're gonna. So you love Frigid Heat Wave. You love Water
We
Deck.
stopped at a 316. Hey,
Hey,
that
oh
worked out.
wow,
I
that
frigid
worked
heat wave
out.
has water.
Yeah. What kind of decks do you enjoy playing, and why do you enjoy playing them? We
I'm
kind of
not an
touched on this a
aggro
little
kind of
bit, but
guy,
yeah.
so like, yeah,
Okay.
don't expect me to be killing you on turn 2. If I'm
Yeah.
playing a 7-hander, it's probably to be defensive.
Sure.
Um, because 7-handers, while they have lower health, they are
Mhm.
just dramatically better at blocking than other people. I don't know if newer players immediately assume that. Sometimes they think that being a seven-hander makes you immediately more aggressive, but sometimes that means that you build up faster and you get blocks faster than your opponent. Sometimes that just translates to I'm really good at staying alive. I mean, you look at Kaminari and no, he's not going to do that probably.
Yeah.
But that's the kind of deck that I would generally like to play as a defensive seven-hander who can burst down their opponent in probably one turn. I like to poke on maybe turn 2 or 3, get a bit of momentum, or do a cantrip and draw, and then try to go in all at once. Or just a full one-turn kill, as you may recall Kim doing.
I know about that.
My go-to for a while was just one-turn kill decks. And some people used to just define it as, I'm just going to watch Church play with himself for 10 minutes and then I'll die.
Well, he has to peep. You have to peep everything first, and then you kill people.
Yeah, for context, the character that I won with, he had an ability, enhance, reveal a card from your hand, do a thing. I would always say, "Yo, peep this," and then my attack would do like a damage.
Yeah, that was funny. Yeah, I like that. Okay, so with set 3 on the horizon, what was some of the goals that the design team wanted to accomplish with it? You don't have to go into cards, but was there an overall goal you guys had in mind? If you could talk about it.
Well, every one of us comes into the set with generally different goals, honestly, and we try to make sure that we hit all of them. That's the beautiful part of having a full team, is that you can look at it from a broad stance, and people can have different goals. Since I was so fresh at the time, I didn't really have any goals for what I wanted to add. At least at the beginning, when we had a part where we were around a table, we discussed our goals. I didn't really have much. My main goal was I did not want this set to power creep set 1 or 2. It was mainly, if we were going to be adding more things, I wanted to be there to make sure it was fairly curbed. We have already put out a document teasing the set, saying things like keywords or whatnot. One of the things in there is there will be a printed 10 damage attack. Boy, was I on that attack, like flies on manure. Just staring at it, making sure that boy would be fair, because that terrifies my soul.
Sure.
I am a frigid little baby. I can be shattered with a single broken attack. So just keeping it in line, I would say, would be my goal. Honestly, I love set 3. Most of the design team is pretty much fine with saying set 3 is our favorite set.
Awesome.
And that includes onward, forward. We just love what we were able to do with it. We were able to go outside of the box. And we've already seen that there's a character with counters. There has never in Jasco UFS been a character that uses counters.
That's really cool. I like that.
Jasco, like 2009, there was a T-Hawk that gave Hawk tokens.
Insert screeching eagle right now. Or something like that.
His attacks didn't even understand how the Hawk tokens worked. There was one point where it's like you had to discard some Hawk tokens, and then you take half of the amount you discarded, so your opponent discards half of it. Whatever. So hopefully we're better designers than Fantasy Flight had 13 years ago.
I think with set 1 and 2 you are. With set 1 and 2, you guys, and from what we've seen from set 3, we've seen Endeavor, we've seen Eraserhead, we saw Shoji, and then we just saw Ojiro.
Yes.
Ojiro and
Ojiro is my personal favorite to play out of Series 3.
He looks
light.
He looks so fun.
He is an homage back to Magnet Man and Elec Man, as some veterans will remember. Who played with the same gimmick, and Elec Man's payoff was that you cleared 2 from your card pool, and I think you also drew 2. So we we cut that in half with Elec Man. You clear 1 and draw 1, but you're drawing the attack. So that's the water way of doing it. That's why he has water. Water is for picking up attack. And I love water. That guy is a water character through and through. I just love playing him. Every time we get a new set into playtest, I'm like, what can I do with Ojiro? And it's like, it's not worth it. It's not like he's going to break something that much. But I'm having so much fun with him. So I'm very excited to personally play him in regular metas. It's something I've actually been waiting for what's it now, the 8 months or something. Nice. I just want to play Ojiro. I've been waiting for this tale. So I'm happy you you did this today and not yesterday, so I can talk about Ojiro. I didn't even design him or anything. I just love him.
Yeah. What's kind of cool about Ojiro is the main chord. Everyone just started going, well, we could do this and this and this, or this and this and this, and then it was just like, well, guys, we could play massive flash freeze in him and make our Flog Lashing or our replayed whip or whatever easier to play. And if our
Yeah,
opponent gets into deadlock, we get to pass the next check for free. So
I
let's
like that
do
a ton.
this. Yeah, it
I
sounds
like
so
he,
cool.
that sounds like a huge Johnny character that people are just Johnnying their Johnnies over,
Hmm.
and that warms my heart so much. Like, it's very early to speculate. I have no idea
Yeah.
if he's going to end up taking down regionals, but that'll be
Yeah.
great. I
Yeah.
mean, if he becomes competitive, I don't know if he's going to be top tier. He'll probably just waddle around B tier, is my guess,
Sure.
because he's definitely not the most consistent character. You have to do the gimmick every turn
Hmm.
to be
Yeah.
good. You can do
Yes.
it on block, I think, right? Because he says just he wants to.
Yes. Yeah.
Your
Yeah.
opponent's gonna have to attack you 4 times,
Yep.
and on each of those attacks, you have to block with a low attack, a mid attack, and a high attack. And
To
then you
be
can pick one up.
fair, to be fair, I think you only need to be attacked twice because
Fair,
they
you could
they
use the
pre
foundation.
they you can use the foundation that they previewed in the RLE
Yeah,
um of
student of the art.
Student of the Arts because they
Yes.
attack you once, you can put one in, and then if you block another attack, or if you're able to add a second one in, or somehow you could
Mhm.
lift the one you want that you pulled out of your discard pile. So you
Absolutely.
could possibly do it on block. You could probably
You
do
can do it
it.
on
I
the
mean,
second attack if you've got 2 of them in
uh
play. You block with one,
yeah,
add 2 in, pick,
yeah,
pick
exactly.
whatever omni block
It's
you want.
very situational, but it could possibly the realm of possibilities is there.
It's the
It
reason
is.
that card.
It's really cool. So yeah,
Yeah,
like everyone was scratching their head, like, what does Ojiro do that he needs this? This makes
yeah.
no sense, you know? And then it's like, why didn't we wait? And then we found out. So it was really
Yeah,
awesome.
student of the art was getting very disrespected on when it came out because
Yeah.
clearly it
Yeah.
doesn't do much for a lot of people.
Mm-mm.
And
Yeah.
man, if you got those, just keep them. You're
Yeah. It's gonna be good.
yeah, like maybe Ojiro 3 will come out eventually, and he'll use it worse.
Yeah,
And
maybe. We'll see.
I don't know.
Okay, so with set 3 on the horizon, like I said earlier, and
It's
we
not a red
know
horizon. Though, it's yellow.
yeah, it's on the horizon.
Yeah,
What
yeah,
are
not
you
red.
what are you Mountain Lady? What are you what are you what are you most excited about going forward for the future of the game? Like it doesn't have to be a card or a set, but like what is the Clint Badger big brain plans for MHA UVS Go?
I don't know if this is my number one, but where my brain went to immediately was that design is thinking more about draft as we're going forward, and
Okay,
we're wanting that
cool.
to be a thing that people can play more. Like in those other card games, like the one that some wizards make where you use magical cards. I see drafts in that game months after a set comes. They'll draft the previous set just because it's fun.
Yes.
And that's crazy to me as a longtime UFS player. That has
Hmm.
never really been something we've done. Maybe for starter deck sets, we'll do that like a
Yeah.
couple months
Hmm.
out because the store has too many starter decks, and we'll think, fine, you're giving us a deal, and it's a way to get them out of there. But
Hmm.
we're looking at not designing with it specifically in mind, like this card needs to be
Yeah.
designed for draft, but it's on the forefront of our minds when we're doing rarities, when we're designing cards. Sometimes we think, hey, in draft, this might actually be a really fun combo. You can do this and this. You couldn't do in normal. These are both combos. This character could have a great time. And so that's kind
Mhm.
of something that we're aiming towards for a new experience for the players.
Cool.
And
Okay.
I personally am excited for that too because I love draft. It's really
Mm.
fun.
Mhm. Mhm.
And so that's
Yeah, I'd
why
love for
we're
a release.
making sure to just encourage that with people. I know
Okay.
Seal is more popular for newer players because
Yeah.
they're not reading all these cards. All of these cards have so much text on them, and I understand that completely.
Mhm.
But draft is where it's at, man. That's where the fun
Yeah.
is.
That's a lot of fun. Yeah.
Yeah.
You can do some broken stuff in draft if you do the whole. You can play it if your character has the symbol on it,
Yes.
and you
Yes.
don't have to symbol chain properly, and it's just like, well, okay, I can do this, and I
Yeah, and
find this.
exactly.
Yeah.
And so
Yeah.
that's where combos could come up that just
Yeah.
wouldn't exist normally, and that's really
Mhm.
fun. You
Yeah.
never have to balance for that.
Never ever. It's great. It's
Like it's only
fantastic.
in a sealed form. You only get it by luck, and you're
Yeah.
not gonna do it. That's cool.
Mhm.
It's just
Yeah.
cool
It's very
things,
neat.
and maybe even if you're just getting a box and you get home with some friends around the table and the 4 of you draft it, that is a great time. I did
Yeah.
that with set one when it came in. I got some friends and we went out and we just got around a table and drafted, and it was
Mhm.
amazing.
Well,
And
you remember that World Street Fighter? We got
oh,
our
I
Street Fighter
loved it.
boxes, and we drafted Street Fighter Street Fighter decks, and we just played for like 6
We had so
hours just
much.
playing
That
Street
was
Fighter characters.
that weekend. Honestly, is one of the biggest influences on my design going forward
Okay.
because that was an amazing experience just playing Street Fighter. Because in a vacuum, that set
Mhm.
was amazing with itself,
Yeah,
and
by
that was a
itself
lot
it
of
was fun.
what
Oh, it was
inspired
fun. Yeah,
My Hero Set One was the
sure.
Street Fighter 2017 set.
Mhm.
And so we're taking a lot from around, I'd say 2014 to 2017 is kind of the power level we're aiming for. So some of our veterans remember like the Mega Man sets, Darkstalker sets from around
Fighters.
that time.
Yeah,
The King of Fighters. Oh yeah, King of Fighters is another one. So that's a bit further back. So let's say
yeah,
2012 to 2017 is
yeah.
about the scale we're looking for, the ability, complexity, and all of us in design are players that played back then, and of course were competitive at the time. And so these are cards that we love. These are cards that even if we were just playing them locally, that's why you could see Magnet Man in Ojiro. Like that's just a thing you're gonna see.
You know who popped off when he saw that? Trent. Trent loves Magnet Man. He
Oh, that's
popped off
awesome
when he
to
saw.
hear.
Yeah, he popped off. He's like, dude, he goes, because we pick a character out of because we're splitting a case and we're trying to
Yeah.
XR out every character's stuff. The
Oh, okay. So you
character.
pick which
So
ones each of you.
yeah, so he goes dibs, and I go, you do know his number is 4 and Shoji is 7, right? So he may only have 2 cards. Maybe
Whoa,
we don't
don't you
know how
be
the.
pulling out no math here. I don't
Yeah,
want no boys mathing on me.
I know. He goes, I still want the XR character. And I'm like, you know what? You can have it. I don't care. You have your Magnet Man. As long as he does want his favorite card to come back though. Don't mess with Magnet Man with the big Matumbo finger, dude. Give him the finger
I
wag.
don't believe
He,
that is a name that we can legally
yeah,
reprint
I
right
know.
now.
I know that. But it'd be
Um,
hilarious to like have a card that would have Ojiro wagging his finger at, it would make Trent's day. And we all know a happy Trent then everybody is happy because Trent is happy. So yeah.
that it
But
is
yeah,
a
it's yeah, because like it was really kind of cool. I wasn't even gonna plan on talking about the preview, and it was just like, well, it's
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 just my favorite design from the
it's
set. That's
awesome.
awesome.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's great.
So you're gonna
Okay.
start seeing
Yeah.
influences from them. Even if that's an ability from Street Fighter 2017, or there's a beloved attack from them that just gets transposed into My Hero. I think that honestly, veteran players are gonna love that. New players won't notice, but it's an
Yeah.
homage in a good way.
Mhm. Mhm.
Like it's not going to be a straight 1-to-1 all the
Yeah.
time. Like if a card is like your kick combo something something, but we bring it over here and now it has to do with punches or whatever. It's not the end of
Yeah.
the world, but it still
Yeah.
functions just like the card that people love playing for years. And
It's like
honestly, a big problem that of course you know from the 2017 Street Fighter era, beautiful set. The platinum set that came after it, pretty great. And
yeah.
then the power level just at Bebop,
Yeah. Yeah.
and it
Yeah.
just made all of the Street Fighter set irrelevant,
Yeah.
and that felt bad to lose all of that fun. So that's
Mhm.
basically exactly what we're trying to get back with My
Yeah.
Hero is just that style of fun. So
That's awesome. That's
players from
fantastic.
that era are going to love what they start seeing
'Cause,
as we get to open up in complexity. Right now
yeah.
that we're not
Mhm.
on the opening set, we're getting weirder sets. Like set 3 is already looking kind of funky, as you've
Mhm.
seen characters in slot 4 and 7. What's up
Yeah.
with that, my man?
Well,
What's up with that? This
well,
set's weird.
I
This set's
like it.
weird.
But I like it though.
I
Uh,
like it. Yep.
about the homages card we were talking about, the new Bakugo provisional card. I already am gonna snap order 4 of those because it reminds me of my favorite attack from the old game, which was Robert's big kick. Because I am
Yes.
a huge Robert stan, and that oh god, I loved that kick. I loved that character, and I'm snap playing Bakugo 2 for funsies forever now because he can
And it's
play
not
that.
even locked to
Yeah,
him. It's just
it's not
combo
even locked in
fury.
Fury, so yeah, but it's gonna be a lot of fun. Just
If
be
you can
like,
find a character who likes furies and also
yeah,
generates free momentum, you're
yeah.
set.
Hey, I think there's a character on Earth that kind of does that, and he can probably make that thing like 3,000 damage. By the way, so his name's All Might One. So yeah, you could do that. Yeah. So, so we had as of recording, Gen Con was just
Yeah,
yesterday,
yesterday.
and they had a giant teams event. I don't remember how many teams because I was playing in top cuts. As
Oh,
a
just humble
as a
brag.
I mean, as a no, it's more of a I didn't get the breakdown and I didn't really pay attention because
Yeah.
I was concentrating on my own stuff. Um, as a U.S. national champion with teams, can you construct the perfect dream team out of the current player base? Or do you
Player
not know
base,
any?
not
Yeah,
meta.
no.
I'm not looking for characters. I'm
Okay,
looking for people.
okay, yeah, okay. Now, I say the characters would be easier for you because I don't know how plugged in you are into the community as a person behind the curtain.
I think that makes
So
more sense. So I'm just gonna do
yeah,
the people anyway because that's more
yeah,
fun.
do that.
Um.
Or if you want to do characters too, you can actually pair the person to a character. That would be even more of a challenge.
All right. All right. So let's get Chris Bromley on his beautiful Toga deck.
Okay.
That's got to be in the deck. That's got to be on the team. That is a consistent deck that can go short or long. It
Hmm.
can vary based on what he's fighting.
Okay.
And I strongly respect that. I think he's doing a lot of great things with that deck. I don't know if it would have to be on the same one, but I would. I can't say no to Garrett Brett on a team. I know that means that you're not going to win. When you have Garrett Brett on your team, ever since like 2015, that just means you're going to lose.
Yeah,
You're gonna
I
get
remember.
top eight because you're feeling all good. Like this man's got 6 world champions. I can't lose, and then they lose in
Yeah,
top 8 every single time. But I don't care. That's what I'm
yeah,
saying.
yeah.
Is Chris Bromley, Garrett Brett, and I gotta go with Tim Keefe for one simple reason. So many times you'll get to say top 4, top 2, many events the last 15 years. Garrett Brett versus Tim Keefe in the finals. One of them will win. You know, it doesn't always be Tim. Doesn't always be. Oh, I don't want to be flipping anyone off. It doesn't always be Tim. It doesn't always be Garrett. One of. So if they're on the same team, that's
Yeah.
just getting Batman and Superman together. You cannot
Yeah.
lose.
Yeah, you are correct. Unless it's the Injustice universe, and then you're just kind of
Oh, yeah. And what about Earth 3? Like, who's our Owl Man here? You know, are we getting Phil Birch in here to be
I
the
know.
alternate of
Ooh, the
Bromley?
alternate. I
Because
know.
they're both
Ooh.
fun fun boys, and that's a
Yeah.
very respectable alternate of
Yeah.
Bromley.
Yeah,
He'd
it
be
is.
going for a much different deck, very
Yep.
aggressive, but that's
Yep.
fine.
Yep. Yeah.
I would
That's cool.
respect that
I
as
like
like your
that.
fourth decision.
I like that. I like that a lot. What would Garrett be playing, by the way?
I loved his Hatsume deck. I don't
Okay.
know if he's personally tweaked that or anything.
Yeah.
But if he could be playing that, maybe
Cool.
if he's
Yeah.
found something else that's really touched his soul, then
Yeah. Cool. All right. So as we close, first I want to thank you for coming on at a kind of a short. I kind of just asked you like last week or so,
that's
and I
fine.
appreciate that. Why don't you tell the people what's going on in your life? With any, if you have any shout outs or call outs, if you want to call anybody out, please do so. But let people know what you're up to.
I want to call out Guile being a very good judge. I want to shout out to Dollarama. I was there earlier to buy some light bulbs. I got some really good snacks too while we were there, so I gotta respect that. I don't know the difference between a shout out and a call out. Is call out supposed to be bad? Seems like
Call
that
out
was
is supposed to be like call out's supposed to be like a WWE style
oh
promo where
like
you
it's happening kind of call
yeah,
out.
like it's happened, like I'm gonna beat your ass at this point in time,
That's
something
really
like
hard.
that.
I'm retired now. Who am I
I know,
supposed to?
but you could still challenge people.
I guess I can.
Yeah,
I could just fight a guy. Okay.
you can. Okay, if you
Um
could. Okay, let's rephrase this. If you could fight anybody in the community, not real fight, but play fight, MHA fight, Jesus
challenge
Christ,
someone to a battle in a card game.
in a card game, who would that be at this present time?
Ooh, it's not something I've really considered much. I
Yeah,
think that I am going to have to call out. I don't know. It's not something I think about. There's so many people. I've
no,
got like actually 15 in my head.
that's
Even
awesome.
some of the
Well, you know
people I
what?
only put online I've never fought in person.
You better get that list started, and you better start working on it, church.
All right,
You better
all you
start working.
fools, the ones in my head that I haven't named, you come to Winnipeg because I'm not going to all of your houses to fight all of you.
To
That
be
is
fair,
ridiculous.
I assume you're gonna be at work, right? I assume everyone's gonna be at World, so
Oh,
if maybe
I don't know.
I assume all of Jasco will be
I
at
guess that makes
World.
sense.
That makes
Yes,
sense.
that would make sense.
Maybe you can maybe those 15 will be there, or some of them, and you can challenge them then.
Yeah, I would love it if there was like a side teams event where some of the
Mhm.
designers could sign up as a team
That
and
would
you
be
could fight
cool.
us. That would be delightful.
That would be neat. Like the old boss battles of the day, where the team winners
Exactly.
would get to
Exactly.
fight Jasco people, and if they win, they get
That was
double
something we would
prizes.
love to do too. Is
Yeah.
a boss battle on the side of teams. Like, say at the start of top 8, we fight the team that made 9th, and just to give them like a hey, good job, you almost got there. You can fight us. Maybe you'll get like a provisional promo or something. I don't know.
Yeah.
If they beat us or if they lose or what have you.
Yeah.
And then after top 8, we'll fight 1 or 2 of the teams that lost in top 8 during top 4. And so we'll maybe like get like a best of 1, so we can get multiple teams in there, and people can talk to us and chat. But a lot of people want to do that. And then we could go through pretty much all the top 8 and fight most of them. They don't have to, but if they want to, that could be really fun.
That'd be cool.
And it's a good way to get the designers like on the ground level to fighting people and finding out, wow, this character is actually not that good. Look, some of us are really attached to characters that have not seen any competitive play yet. But we just believe they're going to be good one day.
Yeah, one day. Yeah. And then like when you see support for a certain character one day, that's going to like, man, someone really loves this guy. No wonder why they got all of this stuff. It's like,
oh yeah, if you see like 5 attacks from Monoma in every set from now on, they're all like, this is a keyword of your choice. If it gains taunts, you flip off your opponent's character.
Dang it, Church. Dang it.
See, that's me designing using my brain off the top of the cusp. Yeah, nice. +1 taunt keyword. That's.
So any other plans for traveling for UVS for the rest? As we close it out,
I would love to. There's an event in Toronto in a week, man. If I could just suddenly go to that, I would be delighted. I would love to be on the ground floor again at an event. Like I was at an Omaha event a few months back. I was at the Vegas Provisional. Both of these times, I just loved being with the people and seeing the community again. And it's good to get to talk with the players.
Yeah.
So honestly, anything I can go to, I would just be delighted to. I got to assume that. Maybe, hopefully, probably they're going to put me at Worlds, in which case that'd be great. I'll probably be judging or something, because in theory, I know the rules pretty good. I really hope I have a good grasp on the rules, because if I don't, things are going to look weird. I think probably as a judge would make sense if they want to make it. Or maybe I'll be a guy sitting in the corner watching the event. Like really creepy.
You'll be that guy. You'll be that guy over in the corner being like, that's not how that card's supposed to be played.
This aggro card. Don't sit there defending for 7 turns, Garrett. Attack! Not playing my game right.
Well, I gotta say, it's been a pleasure catching up with you, buddy. And I know that we chit chat on the socials all the time, but it's really good seeing you via a camera, at least. So much love to you, but I'm glad you could have come on and did let you out of your cage and let you talk for a little bit.
Yeah, well, I mean, pretty much the whole company's a Gen Con. So
very true.
It helped.
Like
we had a meeting scheduled today, and no one showed up, so I just
just sat there and been like, you were like doing that whole old Coffee Samba commercial where you were just like talking to yourself. You're like talking to nobody.
Everyone was at Gen Con. That makes sense. One of the art guys came on. He kind of looked around. There was no one there, so we just left. Very delightful.
That's awesome. That's hilarious. So, all right. So, again, thanks, Church. Thanks for everyone at home for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, hit the notifications. We're going to have some more episodes of Take 10 coming up in the near future. I got some good guests planned. I know that guys, we're going to do the podcast about Gen Con this week, so they'll probably come on. And I think that's all I got. So, roll credits, Ryan, and we'll see ya.
You actually muted right after you said roll credits.
Oh, did I? Oh, man, did I? What, roll credits? All I said was roll credits goodbye, so that's all. Okay, so it's fine. I don't have to. You can just...
Roll the damn credits! Why are you still here?
Roll the credits! Why are you here? Go home! Bye-bye! Bye-bye!